Hello, everyone, and welcome to Go-to-Market AI, the future of your go-to-market tech stack. I'm your host, Sarah McConnell. These days, it seems like every company has AI, but on this show, we want to go a level deeper so you can see firsthand how businesses are actually applying AI to solve your business challenges. We're going to go deep into the use cases and showing you live demos of the latest and greatest in AI technology. And today, I'm really excited to be joined by Mike Slaby, Strategic Solutions Engineer at ClickUp. Mike, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. So, okay, before we jump in, I know what the people showed up for is that live demo, which I promise everyone we're going to get to it. But before we jump into that, Mike, can you tell me a little bit about ClickUp? What do you guys do and who are you helping?
Yeah, absolutely. So to give you some background, ClickUp is an all-in-one productivity platform. We were founded in 2017, and ClickUp's mission is to make people more productive by cutting down the number of applications you use to get work done. So by doing this eliminates the silos that typically exist between teams because information goes from being dispersed across your tech stack to being in one single source of truth. So ClickUp typically replaces individual workplace tools like spreadsheets, docs, whiteboards, reporting, and of course, AI. And we've helped over 10 million users across 2 million teams worldwide. And this includes all different kinds of teams from marketing to product and engineering to project management. ClickUp is intentionally flexible to meet the needs of multiple business units across your company.
That's so awesome. And I feel like one of the reasons I was so excited to have you and ClickUp on Go-to-Market AI is as AI has gotten more popular, we're hearing more about it. I feel like the use case everyone is talking about is productivity. When they're like, how can you apply AI right now in your business? And it's, we're talking about generative, but they're like, it's really productivity. You can save yourself time and effort. And so it's really awesome that ClickUp is doing just that. And I'm really excited to give people a behind the scenes look at what that actually looks like. Because I hear, oh, it helps with productivity. I'm like, okay, great. But how? How is it going to help with productivity? So Mike, with that being said, I would love to go behind the scenes in ClickUp and check out your guys' AI functionality and really see like, how is ClickUp helping people be more productive?
Awesome. Let's get started. So the ClickUp roadmap and overall strategy, I would say, boils down to three main categories. The first of which being content AI. And this is actually our first release. It's in GA right now. And this is the most traditional use of generative AI. So it's using AI to write and edit content, as well as using role-based prompts and actions to create that content. Next is the project management AI. And this is what we're currently working on and in the process of rolling out. And this is using AI to really cut back on the work about work. So saving you from the tedious updates and meetings that keep you from doing your actual job. This will most prominently be within tasks and lists because those are the most foundational units of work. But we're also working on putting this into more products within ClickUp. So using it for things like automations, dashboards and reports, as well as whiteboards, which is what we're actually looking at right now. Then lastly, workplace AI is something that's on our long-term roadmap, and it's really how we view AI is going to be revolutionizing productivity. So this is where AI can help you locate institutional knowledge and enable you to navigate your day-to-day in just a much more efficient way.
This is all really awesome. I feel like it touches on a little bit of everything when we think about like productivity and generative AI from the content perspective. So I'm really excited for you to show us the back end of this.
So the first place that I'm going to start is with what we call a ClickUp list. And a list is going to be that main container for housing the work that your team does. So you can think of a list as potentially a project with tasks. It could be a backlog full of epics and user stories. Or it could even be your 2024 company objectives and key results. But within each list, you're able to get complete visibility into the progress of work because each of these work items has attributes for things like status, start and due date, the time tracked, as well as things like priority. So if we were to click into one of these individual tasks, you're able to drill in and get a consolidated view of all of the information and communication surrounding your work. But getting started, on the right-hand side, you're able to have what we call contextual collaboration because this comment thread lives specifically within this task So you have all of that necessary information alongside the communication aspect. So it's not disparate or siloed in email or your chat application. And so if this is a longer engagement or it involves multiple stakeholders, there could be tons of comments within this given task or project, and that can be stacked up and really hard to sift through. In this case, right, there's only 5 replies here, but the idea is that using ClickUp AI, you're able to automatically summarize comment threads to get the most important updates instantly without having to spend that time scrolling through the comment section.
This is so cool. I just have to pause here because I feel like any project management tool I've used, where I spend the most time is trying to sift through, to your point, like all the comments. I'm like, I know I'm looking for something in particular. So the ability to summarize all of those, to me, I just smiled. I was like, oh, this is great.
Right. And we've all been there where, like in your email, you have something that you need to refer back to, but you just can't find it. And you have those long threads where it's like, okay, I know it's somewhere in here, but where is it? Right. And this is really just allowing you to get that most important information without having to spend that time.
Or you ask G to go find it and it laughs at you. And it's like, yeah, that doesn't even exist anymore. Like, this is way better.
Exactly. And with that being said, you also have the ability to actually access this directly from your inbox. So when you get that notification that you've been tagged or @mentioned within that comment thread, directly from your inbox, you can actually use this summarize capability as well. So you don't even have to go directly into the task or project to get these types of updates. But outside of comments, there's so much more additional information and actions that can be taken within this given piece of work. So for example, the status can potentially change. Due dates might get moved out because there are delays or changes in who's actually working on it. You could come in and you could track time as you're working through this task or project. So the idea is that a lot of things can actually change. And for a manager or an executive, it can be pretty difficult to actually stay on top of this to know what's pretty much going on within this project. So with ClickUp AI, similar to the comment thread, you can actually get an instant summary of the overall task or a time-based update based on what's happened within the last 24 hours, last 3 days, last 7 days. So again, you can get that most important information without having to scroll through and see what those different things have happened within this work.
This is also really cool. Sorry, I keep pausing you because I am so impressed by this, because I feel like from a manager's perspective, there's so many projects at any given time that are going on. And to your point, I'm like, well, if I haven't had time to meet with the team, or maybe, someone's out on PTO or whatever it might be, and I can't know the status and I can't relay that up to my executive team, to have the ability to just go in and have essentially generative AI tell me what's been happening so I don't have to go piece it together and take all that time is huge.
Definitely. Yeah, it's really all just about cutting out that noise so that you just are able to make the right decisions and be more proactive as opposed to reactive.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So outside of the summary updates, in ClickUp, with the work that you're doing, you can templatize nearly everything. So if there are repeatable steps in the projects or tasks, you're typically going to use a template as a jumping off point. However, if you're starting off fresh, or maybe you're doing something that's more ad hoc, you can leverage ClickUp AI to actually break down your work into sub-steps or subtasks based on the context within the given task, as well as context of the other tasks that might live within the list. So it's going to automatically generate these subtasks. And what you can also do is, if you don't want any of these, right, you review them and some don't make sense, you can actually very easily deselect them. And when you create them, it won't even include the ones that you didn't want there. So this just takes a ton of effort out of creating the project plan and provides a good jumping off point for nailing down the steps that are needed to complete this given initiative.
That's really cool. So to your point, like if you're doing the same project over and over, like I know from our perspective as a marketing team, we do a lot of repeatable activities that ClickUp AI is able to each time help me build out those subtasks. So our incredible project manager on our team doesn't have to go in and create 15 subtasks every single time we have a project. That's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. It takes a lot of the initial thought out of it and gives you just some good ideas for what those different steps could be. And like I said, it takes the context from other tasks that live in the same location. So if you have similar work that's already been created, instead of having to potentially duplicate that, it will basically understand, okay, we know you've done this type of work before. These are the types of tasks that we've seen that you've been doing as a part of these projects.
Amazing. So it's just learning over time as you do more repeatable projects, what is most likely to be that subtask and giving you those recommendations.
Exactly. But ClickUp AI can also be used to instantly generate written content. So not just things like creating tasks, but anywhere in ClickUp that allows for text, you can use the content AI portion. So for example, say you need a jumping off point for writing a description of this given task. This Write with AI function provides you with a prompt to basically say, hey, write me a description for the budget review task. You can even include things like tone of voice, so make it pretty straightforward. We can choose the type of creativity that we want. When I go in and generate, it's going to pre-format and essentially create this description. And there's even no copying and pasting needed because I can just directly insert this into the description field and it automatically inputs it. But this is really only like the tip of the iceberg, I would say, with what ClickUp's content AI can do. And to illustrate what else you can do with this, I'm actually going to attach a doc to this particular task. ClickUp Docs are a built-in collaborative documentation tool used for creating things like internal wikis and knowledge bases, as well as work-specific documentation. And what's great about ClickUp Docs is that you don't have to switch between different tools to access this long-form written content, and it's directly connected to the work management. So given that it's meant for long-form writing, you can imagine that it's especially good fit for content AI. So if you ever use something like ChatGPT, you probably have realized that getting a real productivity boost from generative AI is highly dependent on what you ask it. And given the fact that this is such new technology, most people just don't know the right questions to ask it to get the best output. So
that's me. I'm guilty of
that. Yeah, absolutely. I'm still learning, and I feel like on LinkedIn, I see all of these different posts of really cool ways to use ChatGPT. I'm like, oh my God, that's actually a really great
amazing.
Yeah. So really what we've done is we've taken the guesswork out of this process by partnering with experts across several different business roles and functions to fine-tune more than 100 specific prompts that ensure that you're getting the highest quality output possible. So really all you need to do is select your different role or use case, and it'll give you a prompt to fill in specific variables, and then ClickUp AI just does the rest for you. So for example, let's say that we'll do the project use case and we want to, and as you can see, there's a bunch of different prompts here, but let's say we want to create like a project timeline to kind of brainstorm as to what this project could potentially look like. So we go in here, it's going to ask me for the name of the project. So we'll just say it's a software implementation. Ask you for the date ranges, say October 1st to December 31st, 2023. And again, you get that same thing where we can do kind of like the tone of voice, we'll make it higher creativity. And now it's auto importing this timeline where it's actually broken it down into specific tables, right? Building out this specific timeline. And very similar to that description field, I can actually go ahead and directly insert this into the doc itself. And from here, because this doc is connected directly to the work, I can collaborate specifically on this document to say, okay, let's highlight this text. I'm going to go ahead and comment, and I'm going to mention the project manager, Amy, and say, hey, can you review this timeline? So I'm communicating directly with Amy. And then from here, once she gives the go-ahead that says, okay, this timeline actually looks really good, I can now directly highlight this text and create tasks out of it. So I can add this task to the project, assign it out to specific people, add start and due dates that it suggested, and go ahead and actually create the work directly in the doc itself.
This is really cool. I'm like, I don't ever want to write a creative brief again. I don't need to. I feel like ClickUp can just do it for me.
Exactly. Very, very common for marketing use cases like creating creative briefs, writing blog posts, even brainstorming like things like blog titles. So again, tons of different prompts for all the different use cases that you might see across things like marketing, project management, product and engineering, Yeah, you name it.
That's awesome.
And also, once you've actually created and established this document, you can do things like summarizing the content. So giving you that like kind of instant sneak peek as to what's included in this doc. And you can insert it as a summary block at the very top of the document. And you can even use ClickUp AI to further refine text that's already in the doc. So if I highlight text, you have the ability to fix spelling and grammar, make it longer, make it shorter, even translate it into different languages, explain things, continue writing. So it really helps you just improve your current writing as well to make it a little bit better.
I have never needed anything more because I tend to be the most verbose writer on our team. And when I saw that prompt of make it shorter, I was like, I need this.
I've definitely been there before. So basically just to summarize what I've shown so far, ClickUp AI really it currently includes the project management AI. So this is where we aim to provide important updates and insights faster and also allow for quicker project planning and automatic subtask generation. It also includes content AI, which helps content creators write faster, better, and even think bigger. So that concludes my presentation.
Mike, that was incredible. As made evident by how many times I smiled, lit up, and then asked questions about it. One of the cool things about this show is a lot of times I'm seeing products for the first time, as our viewers are. So thank you so much for going through that demo. That is really awesome. And my brain is already thinking of all the ways that this could save our marketing team and project manager so much time on tasks that we spend a ton of time on every single day. So thank you so much. With that, we're going to wrap up the show with what I like to call our lightning round Q&A. So, Mike, I have a couple questions for you if you're ready.
Absolutely. Let's go for it.
Okay, so the first one is, how long has ClickUp been building AI into your product? How long have you been thinking about it and building it in?
Yeah, so I would say that AI has always been a part of ClickUp in a more behind-the-scenes capacity. However, I would say that we started rolling out ClickUp AI as a product back in April.
That's awesome. I do think that's a common thing we're hearing is like, it's always kind of been there. It's just been in recent, as generative AI and ChatGPT, as these things have kind of blown up where people are looking for it more. So it's great to hear that it's always kind of been there. So you guys have been doing this for a long time. This isn't new. Now it's just how you're bringing it to market and expanding on it.
Exactly. Yeah. Just to keep up with trends.
Awesome. And so with that being said, what is generally available to the public right now? Is what you just showed up in that demo, is that generally available for customers right now?
Yep. So everything that I just showed is generally available.
Awesome. And then also, what's next on your guys' roadmap? Is there anything you can share as far as how ClickUp is thinking about AI moving forward? And I know you shared a little bit at the beginning. I'd love to dig into that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd say our main focus right now is making more of our project management AI capabilities more robust. So what that will include, and I have a couple features that are up and coming. So things like that AI summary that is shown for threads and tasks, that's actually going to be available as a custom field. So instead of it just having it be a regular text update for copy and pasting, it will be a text custom field that can be viewed as a column within that initial list. Also, there will be AI generated stand-ups. So for example, managers will soon have the ability to generate those updates, similar to what I showed in tasks, but for individual people and teams. So what this means is that with the click of a button, you can get a summary of what each person on your team has done in the last 24 hours, 3, 7, or 7 days, or even the last month. It's also going to be available on lists so that you can generate that same kind of summary for multiple tasks or multiple projects.
That's really cool. It's like a manager's best friend.
Exactly. Yeah. So you don't have to have those. Honestly, like it can either replace meetings or just make meetings much, much more efficient.
Well, yeah, what's cool about that is I think about as a manager what's time consuming, or as an individual contributor that reports to a manager is I come to my one-on-ones. I'm like, oh, I've got to what did I do? Like at a fast moving company, do I remember all the things that I did? So having something that can generate that for me just saves me time prepping for a one-on-one or a meeting. And then we can focus on things that are really important to me, like growth and company. It saves so much time of digging into that, really kind of, I don't know, boring, takes a lot of time. So that's awesome.
Absolutely. And if you asked my manager, he always has to give me a virtual slap on the wrist because I always forget to give a text update of basically what I've done for our one-on-one meetings. So it'll definitely help with my relationship with my manager have this
This
functionality.
is the feature I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah, me personally. But yeah, and lastly, also using AI to write and reply to emails. So ClickUp natively integrates with your email provider so that you can send and receive emails directly from a task in ClickUp. And with ClickUp AI, it will give you intelligent suggestions for writing emails as well as providing suggestions to responses. So I know email is a huge part of a lot of people's day-to-day. So that will definitely provide some efficiency gains there.
Awesome. And then my last question of the lightning round Q&A is, are there any products that you and the ClickUp team are currently using that also has AI in it that you found really beneficial for your go-to-market?
Yeah, absolutely. So I personally record a lot of Loom videos for creating customer-facing demos for specific use cases and integrations. And I really like how they've built AI into their platform to break up the video into sections automatically and even just give like a full summary and recap of what the video includes. So I thought that's really cool. Our sales team uses Chorus to record all of our customer calls, and they've implemented AI to automatically create meeting summaries in text, as well as suggest action items, which is really great for referring back to those videos and not having to watch it again on 2x speed, but rather just getting those insights in text automatically. And then lastly, I think our engineering team uses GitHub Copilot for assistance with coding. I know that that's been something that people have been raving about. But I'd say those are probably the three tools that have really impressed me with their AI.
Awesome. And three incredible tools. I know Loom is huge, Chorus is huge, so that absolutely makes sense. Well, Mike, thank you so much for joining us on Go-to-Market AI today. This was a great demo. I really appreciate you taking the time. And hopefully, if you're interested in learning more, obviously go to ClickUp's website, check them out. And thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it.